Proverbs 14, verse 15 says, "The simple believes every word, but the prudent man considers his steps. A wise man fears and departs from evil." A wise person fears, but not just the kind of fear we talk about, such as the fear of God when we respect God, respecting the fact that He is always with us, that He is watching us, that we have to live in His presence and in His will. It's not just this kind of fear that the wise have, but more than that. The wise don't place confidence in themselves, and that's why they turn from evil. We've seen a lot of people place a disproportionate amount of trust in themselves, thinking that they'll never fail, that they'll never contaminate their minds, that they'll never get carried away by the rationale of the world, by the ideas of the world. Many people won't depart from evil. So we see these friendships that people hold on to, friendships that aren't made in faith, that aren't spiritual, friendships even among people doing the work of God who show that their intentions are not winning souls or pleasing God, but speaking against others and against what is being taught from the altar. If there's someone who doesn't accept certain things that happen in church and someone else sees that this person doesn't have the same spirit, does not have the same spirit, yet they still hold on to that friendship, well, perhaps it's because they think, well, I'm her only friend, or I don't want to upset her, or I don't want to cause problems for my husband because perhaps she's even the wife of a leader. So because of certain excuses, many people end up hanging around someone they should have nothing to do with, someone who doesn't think before speaking, who doesn't talk about spiritual things, but talks about the things of the world, someone who is fleshly. They stay with them. In other words, they don't depart from evil. They won't depart from evil. A person like that isn't wise enough to think, okay, if I stay with her, joining in her conversations, listening to all that she says, I'm only hurting myself. I might contaminate myself. She might corrupt me. And like the saying goes, no, it's not just a saying, it's a fact. One bad apple spoils the whole barrel of good ones. That bad apple contaminates the others. It spoils the others. It means that even if you have 100 good ones, all of these 100 good ones are unable to contaminate or decontaminate the one that is contaminated. But the contaminated one will contaminate all of those 100. Since people trust so much in themselves, thinking that they'll never backslide, that they'll never harm themselves, that they'll never trip up, that they won't sin or fall into temptation, they're playing with evil. They're flirting with evil. They won't turn away. They don't turn away. They hang out with evil. They stay in that friendship or watch those videos on the internet, videos of other denominations, other pastors that have another spirit, that have a different faith, or even videos of people who've left the work of God, that ex somebody or someone. They want to find out what's going on with them, what they have to say. They run towards evil, not away from evil, because they're so sure of themselves. And that was the first sin up there in heaven, when Satan once was Lucifer, an angel who had no fear of God and even wanted what was God's. He had no fear of being envious of God. He was so confident in himself. He never imagined that God would kick him out of heaven one day. This is part of what it means to fear God. You don't believe in yourself, meaning that you don't believe that you can handle it all. Because we are all flawed. We are human beings who are weak and should not put confidence in ourselves. We are not and can never be God. We are human. So you can't trust yourself in a friendship with someone of the opposite sex. You just can't. You can't trust yourself to watch certain videos, certain films or TV series that show graphic images with sexual content which cause you to start having sexual and lustful thoughts. You can't trust yourself with these. We have to stop thinking that we can play around, that we can flirt with these things, that we can wallow in evil and never dirty ourselves. So a wise person is the one who doesn't place confidence in himself, and this is what makes him wise. This is what makes him avoid evil. This is what causes him to turn away from evil. And this is what makes him fear God. It's because he doesn't trust in himself. Perhaps you've placed a lot of confidence in yourself, and maybe that's why you've fallen into temptation. Maybe you're still falling into temptation. The only way to fix that is to stop placing confidence in yourself and stop thinking that you can handle it, that you'll get yourself out of the situation on your own, and then come to find help. You have to fear God. Fear for your salvation. Fear for your salvation. Stop trusting that you can handle the problem you're going through, that you'll fix the problem in your marriage. You have to fear for your salvation. So don't put confidence in yourself. Ask for help. Depart from evil. The verse continues on by saying, "But the fool rages and is self-confident." It means that someone who is too self-confident is a fool. A woman who is very self-confident about her marriage is a fool. Those of you who are overly self-confident when it comes to your faith are fools. Stop placing confidence in yourself. You need to analyze yourself all the time, being careful, always fleeing from evil, always resisting evil. Even if you see the appearance of evil, flee from it. If you know that certain things weaken you, cut them out of your life. This will show whether or not you're wise or foolish.